Hey everybody, it's Angela Molson352 and I'm back with another layout process video, and I'm going to use some SaCrafters products in this layout. And this first item I'm going to use are these kind of squiggly circles, and I wanted to show me punching it out, because when you punch it out it kind of comes into a couple different pieces, which is really convenient. Plus you can cut it down into even more pieces if you want. And so I'm just kind of popping out the little interior bits, and she leaves those in to protect it during shipping, so that things don't break. This one isn't quite as fragile because it's not MDF, it's chipboard. And you can see how that first piece comes out, so it kind of gives you the small squiggly circle. Then you have kind of this medium squiggly circle, and then there's the largest. So I'm just taking out the little inside bits. And then you can always reuse, even use the squiggles, the pieces that I'm taking out. Would be kind of cool to like maybe paint those out and reinsert them, and have different colors in there and stuff. But in this case, I'm just going to use the larger two circles, and I'm going to paint them in different colors. So I'm thinking about using all three, but I wind up only using two. So I just grabbed some wax paper, and I have some Martha Stewart blue paint, and I'm going to do this largest squiggly circle in the blue, and it kind of matches that picture of my grandson that I'm going to scrapbook, and he's in one of those kind of little walker slash play center things. I don't know what they're actually called, but when I was younger we called them walkers, but they might have a different name for them now. And then I also painted up some of SaCrafters stars, and you can see the frame part has a backing, and then there's an interior, so you actually get kind of three pieces: the largest star, solid star, then the largest outline star, and then the interior of that outline. So I just painted a few of those up, and then I'm also grabbing these chipboard laugh play, and I'm just going to use the laugh and play on this. I figured I could use love, is easy to use on any layout, so I thought I'd go ahead and save that one aside and just put laugh and play on this layout. And I'm also going to paint that, and I used kind of a lime green on the other squiggle circle and one of the stars, and then I also used purple on one of the outline stars, so I'm going to use purple on the laugh and play. And I wanted to use some red, but I didn't actually have any red paint. All I had was like hot pinks, and then I had one burgundy, so I just kind of stuck with the purple and figured I'd put some red in there with the matting. And then this is some carbon paper that my friend Debbie sent me. Thank you, Debbie. Although I'm not sure I should thank you, Debbie, because I have been looking at this wondering how I was going to use it for a long time. So this is what I'm going to do with it. I printed these two items out from the internet, and since I'm just using them for my own use, I didn't think I'd have a copyright issue. And they might be actually free downloads, so I'm not sure. But what I wanted them was just to trace the little monsters on there. And this is a really good thing for people who feel real comfortable with just hand drawing, freehand drawing on there, to print something off from the internet and use some tracing paper, tracing paper on there, just to get that image transferred. And so this works really well, and you could probably paint them once you've sprayed it with fixative, and I'll show you the fixative here in a second. But this just works really well. Then you know exactly where you're going to place it. You don't have to freehand it. It's a lot less foolproof. And I like the blue color of the transfer paper there, the carbon paper. So I'm just going to do 3 little monsters on here, and some of them are going to get a little bit covered up, but it just kind of lends a little extra to the layout. And yeah, I was so glad to be able to use this carbon paper, because I'd been wondering what to do with it for a while and how I was going to use it. So I might try to do a few other things with it as well. And I do a little test just to show you. If you rub at it, it does give a little bit of a smear. Not bad. So I'm going to use this workable fixative that I have for pencil drawing. I already had on hand, and I just sprayed it, and I did spray it outside. Well, I stuck it out the window and sprayed it out the window because it does kind of stink. So I sprayed that on there, and it actually made the carbon a little bit darker, which was cool. So while I let that dry, I figured I'd go ahead and matte on my photo, and I bring a little bit of that red in with the first matte, and then I grab a little bit of lime green kind of colored paper. I think that's from the We Are Memory Keepers Love Notes collection. And so I'm liking that. And then I'm checking, then I find these little things that I bought. They're appliques that I bought at Tuesday Morning the other day for 99 cents. And that's what, kind of got me thinking about doing the little monsters and printing those out, because I wanted some to kind of go with those appliques. So now I'm kind of figuring out my placement. And that's kind of what I'm liking right there. I'm going to kind of cluster them all around that central circle. And so I'm liking that, and I'm like, oh no, how am I going to get it again? And then I remember, everybody takes a photo of it before they take it apart. So I decided to go ahead and do that myself. That's the first time I've ever done that. It worked really good. So now I'm just using a little bit of hot glue. It probably would have been better if I didn't used wet glue, because the hot glue did want to kind of smush out the side there a little bit. But I wasn't very patient, so I wanted something instantly stuck down. So there are my two squiggly circles. And then to fit that photo on there, I'm going to have to put some foam adhesive on there just to help anchor it a little bit, going over that chipboard. And luckily the chipboard isn't very thick, so it's not too bad. The thickest part I have is where I overlap two of the stars, and the stars are MDF, so they're a little bit thicker. So there's the purple outline star. And then there is the lime green solid star. And I guess right there, that is probably the thickest section, so it's not too bad because the MDF stars are layered over the chipboard frames, but it's not too bad. So now I'm going to put that first applique down. So I get a little bit of some foam adhesive, a few pop dots, just to support it on that one side that's not overlapping. And I don't actually pull the backing off of the pop dots, because I do want to stick some thread behind there here in a little bit, so I don't adhere those down quite yet. And now I'm putting my title down, and I kind of want to make it so that the little monster's little hand kind of will go between the laugh and the play, but I don't want him to overlap my other carbon monster too much there. I want that little monster to kind of peek up through. And then this is the last of the stars, and I go ahead and adhere that. And then I think this is where I go and get the thread. Yeah. So I wanted to bring a little more red into the layout, and I wanted a little bit of soft texture, just another texture on the layout. So I grabbed this thread, and I'm just going to adhere it in 3 different spots on the layout. Not a lot of it, just a little bit of it peeking through, little tendrils of it, just to soften and tie everything together. And there's where I said I didn't stick down the pop dots so that I was able to tuck that thread behind. Then I'm going to do a little bit more down here underneath this last little monster. So I'm liking that. And then I start looking through my enamel dots, and I have those 2 packs that I just recently got at the dollar store. And I like the colors that they had, but I wanted some stars. And so the only stars I found were these Heidi Swap, and then I found these Heidi Swap rub-ons, but I'm kind of not too happy with rub-ons right now, so I decide not to use those. And so I just take the lime green stars, enamel stars off of that sheet, and then I group them with a few of these dollar store enamel dots. And that's kind of a purpley blue dot and a kind of reddish orange dot that I'm putting on there. And so that is pretty much my layout. The white cardstock that I used was pretty thin, so I'm taking it over to my trimmer just to trim the edges off, and I'm going to mount it on a different color cardstock just to kind of beef it up a little bit. And so I pull out my cardstock, and at first I think I'm going to use this red, but that's just too bold. So I grabbed this navy blue color instead, and I really like that. So I'm going to go ahead and put adhesive on my edges, and of course I run out of adhesive, so I have to grab another tape runner, and those are ones I get at Tuesday Morning as well. And then I guess I didn't speed this section up, so you're going to get to see me in real speed. Wow. Do I really move that slow? That's crazy. I guess I get so used to watching me sped up at like 4 times the speed. So I go ahead and I cover the backing with adhesive and go ahead and mount that down. And I really love how it turned out. It's bright, it's fun, just like the little photo of him. He's got a little bit of baby drool on there, but he is just having himself a time being outside and having stuff to play with, and I just loved the bright colors of it. So when I saw those applique monsters, I thought this would be cute, although he is far from being a little monster himself. He is a sweetie pie. And so I'm just taking my heat gun and going over it just to get rid of some of the extra glue strands, you know, the hot glue strands. And using the heat gun really does help with getting rid of a lot of those loose glue strands and stuff. So that is my finished layout. And it's been good to get back into doing some layouts. I'd done a bunch of altered stuff for a while, and then working on the farm, and then just work itself. And so I'd kind of, you know, lost my mojo there for a little bit, but I'm glad to get back in the scrap room and play. So here's some close-ups. There you can see my little flying monster at the top. And it'd be fun just to take colored pencil and color those in too. Would be cute. There's a little one-eyed monster. A little grinning monster over there. All the SaCrafters stars. The squiggly circles. The laugh and play. So I really love how it turned out. And if you have any questions or anything, you know, just leave me a comment below, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.